Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss some multiple choice questions on muscular system. Before starting the questions, we'll have a quick review about the sarcomere and some important topics. Here we see the diagram of a sarcomere. In this it is relaxed. Now let us revise that this black line is known as Z line and this central portion is known as M line. These purple colored lines are myosin filaments, myosin, and these green colored lines are actin filaments. This central portion from here to here, in which only myosin filaments are there, is known as A band, right? And this A band, in the center of this A band, this is M line. In the second diagram, this is the first diagram, this is the second diagram. In this, the muscle has started contracting. And in the last diagram, the muscle is fully contracted. You can see that the A band has disappeared in this last diagram. This is the I band. I band contains only actin filaments, and I band is also known as isotropic band. It is monorefractive in polarized light. And this M line has myosin filaments in the A band. They're held together in the middle. This area is known as M line. It is a thin fibrous membrane. Now we also need to know that one myosin filament is surrounded by 6 actin filaments. How? If we imagine a 3D structure of the sarcomere, then actually one myosin filament is surrounded by 6 actin filaments, and one actin filament is surrounded by 3 myosin filaments. And the Z disc, this Z line, this one, it is made up of actinin protein. Any MCQ can be asked over this. Now we revise the structure of myosin. Myosin has one tail. This is the tail part and this is the head part. And these blue colored structures, they are the ATP binding sites, and these red colored areas, they are actually the actin binding sites. This tail portion is known as LMM, light meromyosin. It is a myosin monomer actually. And the head is HMM, that is heavy meromyosin. It is also known as, this part is known as cross arm. This is the tail. Now we come over to the multiple choice questions. The first question is based on the assertion and reason type of questions. If both assertion and reason are correct and they explain each other, then the answer is A. If the assertion and reason are both correct, but the reason doesn't explain the assertion, then the answer will be B. And if the assertion is true but the reason is false, then the answer will be C. If both are false, then the answer will be D. So now, what does it say? It says that, assertion says that when muscle fiber contracts, sarcomere length is reduced, and the reason they are giving is sliding of myosin filament occurs due to rotational movement of myosin head. Now, the assertion is true. Yes, the sarcomere length will reduce, as we can very well see in this diagram number 3. The length is reduced. But it is not due to the rotational movement of myosin head. No, the myosin filament is not moving, only the actin is moving. And the myosin head, what it will do? It will only make this myosin head will make a racket-like contact with the actin filaments. It won't make the myosin filament move. So the answer is C. Assertion is true, but reason is false. Now the next question is, the thick filament in A band are held together in the middle of this band by a thin membrane called, we very well know that it is this area, that is the M line. We again have a look at the diagram. This is the M line, this one, this is the M line. Hence the answer is 2. Now next question, sliding filament theory can be explained as, answer 1 is actin and myosin filaments shorten and slide past each other. Actin and myosin filaments do not shorten, but actin filaments slide over myosin filaments. When myofilaments slide past each other, myosin filaments shorten while actin filaments do not. When myofilaments slide past each other, actin filaments shorten while myosin filaments do not shorten. So we know that the correct answer will be second, that is actin and myosin filaments do not shorten. They won't shorten, but actin filaments slide over myosin filaments. This is the correct answer. Now we have some more MCQs on muscular system. You can be asked a question like, functionally nucleated condition is found in, so the answer you have to write is cardiac muscles. Now the sequence of events during relaxation of muscle is, you will be given a few events and you will be asked to arrange them in the correct sequence. So I have already put it in the correct sequence. First of all, the calcium will return to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. They are asking about the relaxation of muscle, not contraction. Then there will be inactivation of actin, and lastly the cross bridges will be broken. Next question, which neurotransmitter is released when a neural signal reaches neuromuscular junction? The answer is acetylcholine. Next, cardiac muscles are, so we have to click it as striated and involuntary. Next, skeletal muscle fibers may be called as either oxidative or glycolytic. Which of the following muscles would be called glycolytic? First, those with high concentration of myoglobin. Second, those with more mitochondria. Third, the dark muscles of meat of poultry. Fourth, those with smallest diameter. And the fifth, the ones most easily fatigued. So, the correct answer is fifth, the one most easily fatigued. They will be actually glycolytic because they will be using anaerobic mode of respiration, that is glycolysis, and hence they will be most easily fatigued. Next question, unstriped muscles are also known as visceral, involuntary, smooth, all. The answer is fourth, that is all. They are known by all these names. Mitochondria and cardiac muscles are more than other muscle fibers, less than other muscle fibers, equal, or none. So the answer is first, that is more than other muscle fibers. Now, when an organism dies, its muscle remains in a contracted state termed as rigor mortis for a brief period of time. Which of the following most directly contributes to this phenomena? What the question is asking is, an organism dies, then its muscle remain in a contracted state. Suppose the person was holding a bunch of grass in his or her hand, then it will remain like this because the muscles go into rigor mortis. So they're asking which phenomena is directly responsible for this. There is no ATP to move cross bridges, or there is no ATP to break bonds between the thick and thin filaments, or there is no calcium to bind to troponin, or there is no oxygen supplied to muscle, or there is no glycogen remaining in the muscle. So the answer is second, that is there is no ATP to break bonds between the thick and the thin filaments. Next question. The correct sequence that occurs during excitation and contraction of a muscle. We have given the answer in the correct order. First of all, what happens? An action potential in a motor neuron causes the axon to release acetylcholine, which depolarizes the muscle cell membrane. Then, transverse tubules depolarizes the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Then, calcium is released and binds to the troponin complex. Then, tropomyosin shifts and unblocks the cross bridge binding sites. Then the thin filaments are racketed across the thick filaments by the heads of myosin using energy from ATP. So these were some of the multiple choice questions which I have discussed. Thank you.